All right, welcome back to another Explainer. Today we're taking a pretty fascinating trip into the regulatory landscape of Southeast Asia. We're going to be demystifying a massive piece of legislation, specifically Cambodia's law on the management of commercial gambling. If you've ever found yourself wondering how a country basically builds a giant regulatory framework right from the ground up, well, you're in exactly the right place.
Just think about the sheer complexity of that challenge for a second. How exactly do you build a booming, highly profitable commercial gambling industry, but also simultaneously maintain strict social security and order? That right there is the essential, defining tension that this landmark 2020 legislation actually tries to solve. It is a massive, high-stakes balancing act between economics and public safety. And honestly, understanding it is absolutely crucial for anyone looking at investment and economic shifts in Southeast Asia right now.
Okay, let's dive right into this roadmap. First, we'll look at the legal framework. Second, purpose and economic impact. Third, the CGMC power structure. Fourth, permitted versus prohibited zones. And finally, licensing the operators.
So, kicking things off with Section 1, the legal framework. To really grasp the impact of this 2020 law, we first kind of need to appreciate its sheer scale. 97. That's the total number of articles packed into this legislation, spread out across 12 distinct chapters. It covers literally everything, all the way from general provisions and zoning right down to administrative punishments and transitional rules. This isn't just some set of loose guidelines, you guys. It is a dense, comprehensive 97-article rulebook that's designed to leave absolutely no regulatory stone unturned.
So, we know how big the law is, but what is it actually trying to achieve? That brings us to Section 2, Purpose and Economic Impact.
What's really interesting here is that this law has this fascinating dual mandate. On the one hand, you've got aggressive economic expansion, right? Boosting economic growth, promoting tourism, creating jobs, collecting vital revenues. But right alongside those ambitious goals, you have these heavy protective measures, like managing the integrated centers, establishing super strict industry standards, and making sure to maintain social safety and security. It is a very intentional, really careful balancing act.
Okay, so we know why the law exists, but who actually enforces all of this? Enter Section 3, the CGMC power structure.
As you can see, this crest belongs to the Commercial Gambling Management Commission of Cambodia, or as we'll call them, the CGMC. You can kind of think of the CGMC as the main protagonist of our explainer today. They were established directly by this law, and they are the ultimate regulatory authority. They manage, they supervise, they issue licenses, they collect the revenue. They are literally the absolute center of gravity for this entire industry, which means any investor or operator, they absolutely have to go through them.
And look, the CGMC isn't just some minor oversight board. This is a heavy-hitting body of 11 members spanning 7 different government ministries. Imagine trying to get 7 government ministries to agree on anything. You've got the Minister of Economy and Finance acting as chairperson. The vice chairperson is from the Ministry of Interior. And then you have representatives from tourism, justice, posts and telecommunications, and even the National Police. This kind of bureaucratic weight essentially guarantees that when they set a standard, it carries the full, undeniable backing of the state.
And as you might guess, with all that representation comes immense power. They do a lot more than just grant, suspend, or revoke licenses. They act as strategic visionaries. They actually propose the overall development policy for the country. They get to approve or even outright prohibit specific types of games. And crucially, they are the strict enforcers who are tasked with protecting vulnerable people, including kids, and taking hard measures to prevent money laundering and terrorism financing within the industry. They really do it all.
So we've covered the what, the why, and the who. Let's shift gears to the where in Section 4, permitted versus prohibited zones. This law draws a very sharp, very clear line straight across the map of Cambodia. You definitely cannot just buy a plot of land and build a casino wherever you feel like it. The country is strictly divided into prohibited and permitted zones. Prohibited zones are completely off limits to all or sometimes certain commercial games in order to protect areas of conservation, culture, or religion. The permitted zones, well, those are simply the geographical areas outside of those strictly protected boundaries. It's basically a geographical safeguard built right into the legal framework.
Now, let's take a look at how this builds into the practical reality for businesses on the ground. Moving on to Section 5, licensing the operators.
First things first, before absolutely anyone can launch a commercial game, they need prior permission from the CGMC. There are 4 primary operator licenses to know about.
You've got your standard casino license, the betting game license, the game of chance license, which covers things like lotto tickets and scratch cards, and then a catch-all category for other commercial gambling. The message here is loud and clear. No permission, no operation. Period.
But honestly, it goes way deeper than just the building itself. The really crucial point to take away here is that this regulatory net doesn't just stop at the big casino operators, it strictly covers all the related activities too. Like if you want to work as a special employee, you need a license. If you're a junket operator promoting commercial gambling, you need a license. Even if you're just producing, assembling, importing, or selling the gambling devices and software programs, you are subject to CGMC licensing. The oversight is completely end-to-end.
And hey, if you actually manage to secure one of these highly regulated licenses, do not get comfortable because it is not a lifetime pass. These licenses have a strict validity period of just 5 years, so operators can't just get complacent. They have to proactively submit requests for renewal well in advance, usually within 3 to 6 months before the expiration date, depending on their specific license type. It's a really smart way to ensure constant, ongoing compliance. Which brings us to our final thought for today. We've seen the 97 articles, the intense zoning laws, the strict 5-year licensing limits, and a commission backed by 7 separate government ministries. So I'll leave you with this. Is this dense, dual-purpose framework the ultimate blueprint for safe, integrated commercial gambling? It is absolutely one of the most ambitious and highly regulated structures we've seen. Thank you so much for joining me today on this explainer. Keep asking questions, keep studying the structures around you, and I'll see you in the next one.